If market shifting is just off the wall, it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it's hard to get that. Welcome back, everybody, to the chat. Real Talk Real Estate. My name is Scott Warner with EXP.
And I'm Donovan Johnson with Coldwell Banker. We're going to talk about something that's worse than a Clayton Kershaw curveball today, 12-6. Scott, what is it?
How do you do a curveball, actually? I was just wondering.
It's just fingers together.
Fingers together.
And they tell you just to snap the wrist. You can throw it like a football sometimes, too.
Okay. We are talking about appraisals today. Whether you like them, whether you hate them, that's what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen.
And if you've got a bidding war and buyers just throwing around numbers because they're emotionally invested in the house and not as, I say professionally invested, meaning that you usually run your numbers, you know what a house is probably worth. So, but it's not always in your control.
No, you're 100% correct. I like how you said a bidding war. We haven't seen one of those around here in a while, but guess what? Appraisals lock that down. And appraisals, truthfully, what an appraisal is the bank's way to make sure that, guess what? You're not spending more of their hard-earned gray money to buy this house.
Right. And again, the biggest thing is it's not about what the buyer is willing to pay, because the right buyer may be willing to spend way more money than they should on the house. And the problem isn't on the front end, it's really on the back end. Because imagine as a real estate agent, if they bought a house for $500K, but they're in a $400K neighborhood, it's not going to look good on you when they need to sell because Susie needs a new dance academy or something.
While appraisals land pretty close, guess what? They're not always on target. Unique houses, they have some gaps, but the thing is, it's not about what you put in the house that helps the appraisal. It's adding more room, and it's not about the beauty of the house. So look,
Sadly.
let's talk a little bit. So I had a house in New Orleans that I built. I felt my appraisal was low. I had a spray foamed attic. So guess what I did? I made it living space. Put this ugly little carpet in there.
Yeah.
Threw some sheetrock on the walls, and I went from like 2,600 square feet to 3,200
Dude, I was
square
about
feet.
to say, that's at least 400 or 500 square feet.
So it went through the roof. I was like, okay, that's how you do it. It's not about the beauty, because downstairs, this was in my upstairs attic. Downstairs was beautiful.
Yeah.
Upstairs was like trim that,
special?
trim that you get from Lowe's. And I was looking for the discount rack.
And if we can back up a little bit, you may be wondering, well, how do appraisers even come up with an appraisal value? Well, market condition, price of the house, like recent sales of closed deals. You can't count pending or active. If it's active, then it's almost like a stock that you haven't sold yet. You can't even count it as profit. Yep. Also, so market data, condition, and sales are the three things that they base it off of.
Now, why do appraisals come in low sometimes? It's truthfully because, number one, bidding wars push up the price. I saw that in Graywood.
Yeah.
I saw that in Graywood. I mean, but guess what? Prices are still going up. I just had one that I sold that appraised for about $60,000 over what we bought it at. I'm like, okay, we're still knocking up prices over here.
Just a question for you, Scott. If your house over appraises and you go to what's that mean if your house appraises for more than what you bought for? Like, what's it do for a client?
That's money in the bank. I mean, if it appraises for more than what you bought it for, that's equity. That's equity. Now, the scary thing is, an appraisal number, is it going to be the number that it sells for? I think sometimes people say, man, my house appraised for $700,000, but is it going to sell for $700,000? Sometimes that's the low spot that you have to be ready for as an agent, to be like, look, this might be a talk that we're going to have to talk.
Right. And with the appraisals, it's another thing to remember, like, we are in a buyer's market now, and if you got your house appraised in a seller's market, that appraisal may be like $50K plus higher
Yeah.
back 2, 3 years ago versus now. So that's something else to consider.
I have one on market right now that 3 years ago appraised for 400,000, a commercial piece of property.
Hmm.
We're under contract now for like 300,000.
See,
And guess what? Seller's like, "Wah, wah." I mean,
yeah.
that's the problem. That's why appraisals, getting back to appraisals, that's why it's such a way they, you don't want the appraisal to, I don't think that you want the appraisal to come back too high, because then that
Yeah.
inflates the seller's mind. Like, when I sell this, John, it's going. It's going. I'm making some retirement money.
Something else I've
Mhm.
noticed in my 4 years of real estate is that a personal appraisal will come back way higher than like an in contract appraisal.
You're right.
Like I have a guy, for instance, Toledo Bend house,
Okay.
and the appraisal came back. I just lost my train of thought.
Pick it up.
Tell me the last sentence I said before
Appraisal
Toledo
came
Bend.
back for Toledo Bend house.
This is why I wanted to drink tea and not for coffee. Awesome director notes. So, but what I'm getting at, okay, you ready? We're just gonna, Sean, I'm gonna need you to shake me back. I'm gonna just start talking.
Yeah, yeah. You were talking about your buddy that gave you some appraisal notes.
Okay. Basically, if you go get that personal appraisal, there's a good chance that the appraiser is going to look to basically satisfy your needs.
Yeah.
And it's not always completely market relatable.
Yeah.
Another thing of why appraisals could come low is because the appraiser, we can't pick. Well, I think you used to be able to pick who appraised,
Yes, you
but
used to
there's
be
a
able
lot of
to.
lawsuits and stuff will go down, and now it's a bank now. I say it like a word bank almost, but it's a
Yeah.
randomized. So they order the appraisal, they hit random, and then somebody comes up. Now we know a couple of appraisers, and there's some I love to see, and some I like. Trying, yeah, dude.
Start
Hey,
tweaking. Start
brother.
tweaking. Start tweaking. Like,
Yes.
hey, seller.
And so yeah, what's the another reason maybe appraisals will come in low, Scott?
I mean, number three, recent upgrades that the seller has made are not being valued correctly. I mean, that it is a happening thing, but a lot of people, like I said, it does not have to be Taj Mahal stuff that you're putting in. It's where you add square footage is going to be the biggest bang for your buck.
S- On that note, great point about square footage. You could have a 2 bedroom, 2 bath house that's 2,000 square feet and like a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom house, same size. And there's a good chance they're going to be in the same ballpark, even though one has more bedrooms.
You are correct. I mean, but that's the thing. It's square
Square
footage
footage is
in
king.
the house. I mean, yes, does quality or condition play a role? Yes, it does. It does play a role. But even if you as an agent pull comps, that's where that role plays as well. You want to make sure that you're pulling comps for the year that it was built, the size of the house, and the condition that the house is in. You don't want to say, oh, that's the hard part about pulling comps. You want to see the house before you start pulling comps, because if you just see the outside, man, I got myself a good one. You walk in and it's got roaches living in it. I mean, that's the bad thing. I mean, number four, market shifts. If market shifting is just off the wall, is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, g- it's hard to get that appraisal number correct, because guess what? Like you said, it's on closed properties, 3 to 6 months past. I mean, if we're in a crazy shift of a market, 3 to 6 months is like 5 years ago. I mean, that's where we're truthfully at.
Question.
What?
Have you ever had a house that was mismeasured, like on the from the buyer perspective, and the appraisal come back and said like, hey, this house is like 120 feet square feet less than, has that ever like affected the deal, or have you ever had to renegotiate?
I did have one where I was on the buyer side and that did happen, but luckily it was only like 60 square feet. It wasn't anything huge. I know a couple on market right now that a contractor friend of mine built, and he's like, yeah, their square footage when I built this house, it was 2,600. Now they're saying it's 2,800. I'm like,
That's a
ooh,
gap, bro.
that's a major,
Yeah.
major
That may
gap.
kill a deal, even post
Yeah.
inspection.
200 square feet, especially if you're thinking about Graywood.
Oh my gosh, it's
Two,
nightmare.
200 square feet at $200 a square foot. That's a
That's a
bit.
different side of Graywood. You gotta hop the little lane
You
real
gotta
quick.
hop it. Yeah, you gotta hop those tracks. You need to be not gray hood. You need to be in gray wood because guess what? That's the difference that you're talking about.
Yes, dude.
I mean, but options when appraisals come in low. I mean, option one, renegotiate the price. We are negotiators. You hire us to be negotiators. So guess what? Put us out there and do our job. Sometimes you know, knock on wood, I haven't had this issue as a seller's agent. I guess because I tried to, make sure the square footage is right. But I'm like, oh, can you imagine if you were the seller's agent had to be like, hey, sorry, I mismeasured. We got to come down. I mean, is your seller going to be happy with you? No, but once again, we are negotiators. We get the deal done. We do what we need to do.
And sometimes buyers love the house. It's the dream home. They don't care, and they're willing to bring in the money to like call gap coverage. So
Hmm.
there may be a $10,000 difference on what the appraisal value versus so their offer price is higher than what the appraisal value is. They're like, I don't care. I'm gonna just bring an extra 10K to closing in order to get it done.
I'm sorry. Do you have an extra 10K laying around?
No, but I hope I'm dealing with clients that do.
Well, I mean, option three is you can always challenge the appraisal.
My favorite.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem challenging the appraisal if you're good at your job and you feel like your CMA is priced right. Challenge the appraisal. Don't just hey, look, for clientele, we don't want we as agents, we don't want to just lay down and die. We're going to fight. We're going to make sure that the price is right. So, could we have mismeasured a little bit? Yeah, we could have. But guess what? Did he mismeasure or did he miss comps or did he pull out of range? Getting back to an appraiser that doesn't know the local area. Could he have, gone in this area when it's like, no, that's the bad area that you're going into. He doesn't know. So sometimes he might need an education.
Right. And then lastly, and sometimes the most frustrating and last option is to walk away. And sometimes you do have to cut your losses because if you're at the appraisal point, you spent $385 at least on the
Yep.
inspection. If you got a sewer scope or something, that's another 150 plus. WDIR is at least Evans right now is the cheapest, but like Roland McCormick with House Call does it for free in the inspection.
Yep.
So basically, you're going to be the appraisal's $500. So
Or six. Yeah.
you're probably in it, depending on how big the house
$1,000.
is. You're right.
$1,000.
You're in $1,000 already, and now you're having to make the decision of is it worth staying or is it worth leaving?
I mean, but that's the same thing that all buyers do because guess what? If you get a bad inspection on the house, that doesn't mean that you're just going to say, "Okay, I'm happy with the inspection," especially if you do an inspection response and they're like, "No, we're not going to fix anything." I just had a buyer that went through that. Loved the house. Loved the house. Walked in it. Knew that it was a 1910 home. I mean, we knew that there was going to be some things wrong with it, but they said no to the roof, no to this, no to that. The roof was 18 years old. And it's like, all right, at what point in time we came up to your price? At what time are you ready to play ball with us? I mean, appraisal gap coverage explain. I mean, this is what you were just slightly talking about. Appraisal gap coverage is when the buyer agrees to pay more than what the appraisal is. To me, that's scary. I remember last podcast that we talked about, look, we're protecting you not just on the front end, but we're protecting you in the rears. I mean, afterwards as well. You don't want to be like, hey, good job on the front end, and then they give you the middle fingers instead of the
And then go get another agent.
yeah. So, I mean, sometimes you have to cautious your clients on saying, or be cautious with your clients and say, look, I know this house is what you love, but are we paying too much?
Right. Because, like, for us, obviously, we want to win the deal. We're commission based. Like, ain't a lot of realtors on a retainer. So we got to, you eat what you kill. but you don't want to like kill them in the long run. You want to be able to, just because you win a bidding war, what if you overstretch the budget?
Yeah, and what we're explaining is if you have a $300,000 house under contract, appraisal comes back at 290. You're coming up with that extra 10. That is that's an investment in this house, and then guess what? 5 years from now, you hope that investment just soars. But hey, it's a risk. It's a risk. But guess what? If you explain the risk to your clients and say, "Hey, look, let's move forward with it," hopefully, afterwards they do give you that thumbs up instead of the double middle finger and be like, "Yeah, you suck."
Right.
Low appraisals are not the end of the world, though. They require quick thinking. As agents, we have to be quick on our feet and a clear plan to move forward.
Right.
As long as you are communicating properly to your clientele, you're doing what they're asking you to do.
Absolutely. And for buyers, it's just important to know your options, especially before you make an offer. And on the flip side, for your sellers, just price right. And expect this market, I call it,
Yes.
it's not as forgiving.
Yeah.
Sellers market, you can you set the rules, and you're willing, you got some more play. Buyers market, you're kind of at the mercy of the buyer.
To end this off, the thing is price right, especially in this market. Look, if you see that it's sitting on the market, you're not getting showings. Let those people tell you something. Let your other agents, be a sounding board of, hey, maybe I'm not in the right price. Maybe I need to do a little bit of a reduction. But look, guys, thank you for joining us today. Real Talk Real Estate. Give us a heart, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm Scott Werner.
Donovan Johnson. See y'all next time. All love at the bottom. Game point.